Today I want to talk about vanity presses versus traditional pubs versus indie pubs. Being an indie pub and also author, I have a lot of experience with all three. I'm actually a hybrid author. I have some traditionally published books as well as indie books that I self-publish / publish through Crazy Ink, which is my publishing company. So I've sort of seen and done and tried it all. I'm also friends with people in all of these communities. I have several friends that have big six traditional publishers. I have several friends that are working at becoming publishers. I have several friends who have successfully become indie publishers, and then even more friends who are authors for indie publishers or indie vanity presses. Today I want to talk about that distinction because I was absolutely shocked to learn that people don't know that in indie. It makes me sad. I don't know why I'm shocked, but I feel like somebody needs to say it, so here I am. There is a difference between a publisher and a vanity press. There is nothing wrong. I want to say this loud and bold and clear, and I'll say it again and again. There is nothing wrong with choosing a vanity press to publish your book with. Nothing. What is wrong is when vanity presses do not describe themselves as vanity presses, do not tell their authors this is a vanity press, and pretend that they are a traditional indie publisher. There is a very big difference between an indie publisher and a vanity press. It's huge. And what does it boil down to? Money. When you're with an indie press, I shouldn't say press, I should say publisher. The word press is not good here. We're going to use the word publisher. When you're with an indie publisher, you will never be asked to spend money on a book cover. You will never be asked to spend money on edits. Those things are provided always, every single time by the publisher. What do you lose with that? Well, you may get less royalties than you would with a vanity press. You may not have as much cover control because obviously the publisher is the one investing the money in you, in your book, in your work, who believes in your story, or you as an author, or your platform, or whatever. They're putting their money forward. The average book costs well over $200 to publish, and that's the low end. Realistically, it's upwards of $1,000 when you factor in the marketing, the newsletters, the ongoing promotion, all of it, the formats, the cover, the edits, the proofing, the listing, all those things, about $1,000 a book. In indie. I'm only talking in indie because I don't have experience as a publisher anywhere else. So, when the publisher spends that kind of money on a book, pays for edits, pays for covers, pays for formats, pays for marketing and promotion, all that, they're going to have a little bit more control. You may even get less royalties. On the flip side, a vanity press will have you pay for your edits, have you pay for your cover, will sell you things. I think some will offer marketing of your title, some won't. Some, their whole purpose is they're going to list your book on Amazon, which at that point I would say self-publish it, because if you're paying for everything anyway, you can hire your own person to do it and then self-publish it. There's nothing wrong with self-publish either. But okay, let's pretend that you want to go to a vanity press because you want the security and safety of knowing that someone that knows how to list books did that for you. A vanity press is a place that is going to have you pay for either or all. Your cover, your edits, your marketing. If that's what you want to do, go for it. No judgment, you do you. However, if a publisher is telling you, we'll publish you and you'll get 60%, 70% of royalties, and we're a publisher, but, huge but, you have to pay for your cover, you have to pay for your edits. They are not a publisher. They are a press, a vanity press. So it's really important to know the difference. It makes me sad that anyone would call themselves a publisher and then turn around and make money off their authors. Unless it's through royalties, obviously that's how publishers make money. but charge their authors for anything. That's not okay. If you're going as a service provider, meaning a publisher or a press, to charge authors for things, Crazy Ink, we have booster kit packages. We had, for a while, we're selling covers. There are several services we offer where we charge people for those services, but those are outside of our normal publishing contracts. With a normal publishing contract, authors do not pay for a thing. They don't pay for their edits. They don't pay for their covers. They don't pay for anything. That is all covered by Crazy Ink. That is a typical indie publisher. I'm hearing a lot about places that are calling themselves publishers that are presses. They are not publishers. If you as an author pay a dime, you are now basically in bed with a vanity press. If that's where you want to be, great. But buyer beware. If that publisher or press is not marketing themselves as a vanity press, it's not honest. They're doing you a disservice. It should not be stated, we are a publisher, if really you're a press. And the reason for that is a lot of newer authors, because they're not confident, because they don't maybe know how to list a book on Amazon, they want to publish me. They'll be so excited about that. And they want that community of feeling like I was published and someone picked up my book. They'll do it, and they'll pay for those covers, and they'll pay for those edits. And here's my issue with vanity presses, and why I will never ever pay someone to publish my words. If you as an author pay for your edits, and you as an author pay for your cover, what incentive, this is a serious question, guys, what incentive does the publisher or vanity press, if we're being actually honest, have to promote and market you? What incentive do they have? Sure, they're going to get some royalties, okay, but generally these presses will give you a higher portion of royalties. They've already made their money off of you by charging you for the cover and the edits. Now I've heard, because indie, it's expensive, it's really expensive. I've heard of places that will say, you are directly paying our editor to edit at a discounted rate. You are directly paying our cover designer to give you a cover at a discounted rate. That's a little better. One, it's discounted rate. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have a two. But again, where's the incentive for the publisher to get out there every day and make that hustle and sell those books? I don't know. So it's something to think about, and you've got to pay attention, guys. It makes me so sad when I hear someone go, oh, I just landed a book contract, I'm so excited, whatever, I've got to go pay my editor. Are you just a really good doobie that wants to prepay an editor before you hand it to a publisher? Because that's cool, and I love authors who do that, because then I get a cleaner book. Or do you know this is a vanity press? Like, I keep my mouth shut because I've learned it's not worth the drama, but I think to myself, that's sad. It's sad. It's sad that anyone would charge an author representing themselves as a publisher when they're not a publisher, they are a vanity press, and that authors would say they're okay with it. Any publisher who says you have to pay for your cover and your edits, or any combination of it, or your formats, or your whatevers, is not a publisher. It is a vanity press. It is what it is. If you still choose to go with it, then great, run with it. I am sure there are advantages to this. One, those discounted rates, for sure. Maybe it's that community. Maybe it's just the people there are nice. I don't know. I don't know what the advantage is. But I would strongly recommend and suggest that you explore your options. There are so many indie publishers. There are so many big six publishers. Send those queries out. Or if you're willing to pay already for a cover and edits, then what are you doing? Self-publish that thing. You can go in my playlist for indie authors and I will show you how to list a book, because that's all you're getting from a vanity publisher. That one little step that takes 15 minutes, even if you're new, you self-publish it, you get 100%. 100. It's just a pet peeve to me that people would charge new authors under the premise of being a publisher to publish books. Call yourself a vanity press. It's allowed. My TV will tell you about, there's this Christian something publishing place, and for a mere, $2,000 or something, we'll publish you. You know what? I'd rather publish there because at least those guys are honest. They're telling me what they are. When you're an indie and you're looking for a publisher, you need to do a couple of things. One, are they actually a real business? Go find out. Are they an LLC? Are they registered in their state? Are they paying their taxes? Do your research. It's all public record. That's step one. Step two, are they trying to charge me something? Step three, talk to other authors who've published them. You're going to hear, Crazy Ink sucks. There's going to be a handful that says that. I'm using Crazy Ink because I need an example. But there's going to be a bigger handful that says, Crazy Ink made me an author. Crazy Ink pays their royalties. Crazy Ink didn't charge me anything. That's important to know. It really is. Ask around. I always encourage people, go do your research. I don't care who wants to bash me. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know what my company is. I know I do right by my authors. I know I pay my royalties. No publisher in the world should have a problem with you doing your research or asking questions. For real. If someone's calling themselves a publisher and they're not legally registered as an actual company, they're not a publisher. If someone's charging you to publish you, they're not a publisher. Know the difference, guys. The difference is night and day. And if you still say, you know what, I don't care, I don't mind, I want to help them out, I want to pay for this, go for it, do it. Nothing wrong with it. But I would honestly stop myself, just stop, and just go Google how easy it is to list a book, because it's not hard. There's nothing wrong with self-publishing. I've had 1 million publishers. I finally said, you know what? A couple of them I've loved, actually, but then one of them kind of fell apart, disbanded, or I'd still be publishing there. There comes a point where you say, well, if it's not working for me like this, then I'm going to make it work on my own. And that's how I started this whole crazy wild ride. And I have no regrets about it. I don't feel bad about it. But the only thing I'm charging for is pre-made covers, completely separate from Crazy Ink. Authors that want our marketing because we know how to flood the internet like nobody. Those are booster packages. I don't have contracts. I don't get royalties. Some of those authors ask me to list, but then they get full royalties. Any of those extra services, it's a different situation. It's outside of the regular contracts. It's stated up front. This is what you're going to get. This is what you get in return. This is what it costs. Do not sign a contract that says you have to pay, unless it's a box set. That's different. Box sets do have buy-ins. I'm happy to make a video on that. But if you've got a solo book, you should not be paying for covers and edits and formats and God knows what else they're charging for. I've heard horror stories. It makes me sad, and I hate hearing about, oh, I didn't know. Like down the road, you guys just wasted all this money. And then you basically handed it to a publisher who had no incentive whatsoever to promote you. Why? What are you doing? Self-publish. Well, go find a publisher who's gonna do it and pay for it. It's expensive. And I get why these places are popping up. I do. It's brilliant in a way, but it doesn't make it right. Something being smart doesn't mean it's fair, doesn't mean it's right. And if indie decides to pop up with 1 million vanity presses and services and that kind of thing right now because the market's bad and we're in the middle of this corona thing and people aren't buying books, that won't surprise me. But come on, guys, if you're gonna do that, own it. Say, we are a vanity press. This is what we offer. This is what it costs to publish with us. Here's why you should publish with us. There's nothing wrong with choosing a vanity press, but know that's what you're choosing. Know that's what you're choosing. And explore the other options, because I think that from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, If you're already willing to pay for stuff like covers and edits, the two hard, most expensive parts, and you can really afford it, and you're going to put in the time with your own marketing, don't give away that kind of rights and whatever while paying someone over 15 minutes of listing a book. No. Get your royalties yourself. Get to pick the editor yourself. Ask around, guys. I'm serious. You want a real publisher who foots the bill. You know why? It says they believe in you and they've got an incentive to promote you. All right, that's all I got to say about this. I'm probably going to get some hate for it. Can't help it. I've got to say my truth. This is my truth. I don't like watching people get taken advantage of. If you're going to be a vanity press, just name it. Say it like it is. Don't represent yourself as a publisher and not even be a legal company. It's not okay. It's not okay. Anybody can publish a book. We all can. That's what's awesome about the day and age we live in. But if you want to form a group and call it a publishing company, then do it right. Get that LLC, get those trademarks, do every one of those steps, and yeah, they're expensive. Oh well. Nothing good in life is free. Protect yourself, protect your authors, and authors, guys, come on. Know the difference. Do your research. It's not hard. It isn't. Ask around. Don't feel bad about it. We work so hard as authors on our words. We deserve to have someone who is just as invested in us as we are in that story. All right, guys, until next time I'll be more cheerful. Peace, love, books, crazy, and all that jazz. I'll talk to you again soon.